All right, first off, I'd like to thank you for doing this interview with the Hype Magazine tonight.
Hell yeah, man. It's my people,
And-
man.
yes, sir. To get started, can you tell the fans and listeners who you are and where you from?
Yeah, DJ Spudd, man, checking in. I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana. I do a little bit of everything: DJing, making beats, working with artists. I recently started my own podcast with some
Okay.
people that's coming out soon. But yeah, man, do a little bit of everything. Right
Yeah.
now, I've been kind of behind the scenes for the most part, but I'm, getting back out here.
Now, do you think being from Indianapolis is making it harder for you or easier for you to get into the music industry?
Mm, I mean, it all depends on who you are as a person. Like, I feel like if you're a good person, you're just gonna take you places regardless. So it doesn't really matter where you're from, as long as you're doing things with good intentions and you're a genuine person, it's gonna take you places for real. So, I mean, Indianapolis is, I mean, obviously, it's not an Atlanta
Yeah.
or an LA or New York or anything like that. But I mean, I feel like people can definitely still do what they want to do. It's just about your passion and your drive and your commitment to something.
Yeah, facts. What sparked your interest in becoming a DJ in the first place?
It's something I always wanted to do. Ever since I was young, ever since I was a kid, like I remember in like middle school, just being around and hearing music and watching DJs and just it was always something in me that was like, I want to do music. I want to be on the radio. I want to, travel and go places and do tours and stuff like that. So I guess it's kind of always been in me. But as far as like first sparking the interest, I remember probably like 8 years ago, just meeting a bunch of DJs. It's kind of like just my intuition telling me it's time for me to, pick it up. And
Who were some of those DJs that you met? And then, what was the first step you did to take it seriously? Like everybody wants to be a DJ, but from your memory, what was the first thing you did to take it seriously?
yeah, so as far as the DJs that I first met, I remember Strick was one of the first ones. DJ Dejan was one of the first ones. DJ B Slime, uh, Mike Nasty. I met Cash when I first started out. I met a bunch of DJs when I first started out. Um, and then, shit, as far as me starting, it was just, like I said, it's really more of my intuition just telling me to pick it up. So
Yeah.
I just decided one day, went and bought the equipment, started off just just making mixes, just
Yeah.
doing as many parties as I could. Uh, even if it was free, I wasn't even looking for money at the time. And I think that's kind of what you kind of have to look forward to and focus on if you want to take an entrepreneur route in
Yeah.
your life. Is don't look for the money first. Look for opportunity. Opportunity will come if they see you're, like I said, if they see you're a genuine person. That opportunity will always come to you as long as you stay solid. So.
Now you mentioned DJ Strick, DJ Dejan, DJ B Slime, some of the bigger DJs in our city. Was it hard for you to get the DJs to show you the love and respect that you've got? Like I know you work really hard and you've built a great fan base that we're going to highlight tonight. But when you first got started in the DJ, was it hard to get into it?
Mm, I want to say it was hard because I definitely got some help.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say nobody helped me and I did it all on my own, because anyone who's ever gotten anywhere in life always needed help. So I
Yeah.
definitely, say say Slime and Dejan was definitely some of the major influences as far as helping me as an upcoming DJ. They always looked out, and just collabing with other DJs. Strict, we collabed a few times. DJ Ray, when he used to live here, we collabed a few times. The ones I mentioned, even up and coming DJs, I think looking out and looking for the younger generation is important too. So the
Yeah.
up and coming ones that were DJing when they were my age or even younger, if we could look at them and be like, put them in situations or even collab with them on different parties just to show them a few things, I think it's always gonna, you never look at it as like they're gonna take your light or anything like
Yeah.
that, because at the end of the day, y'all are helping each other.
So now going back in your history a little bit, you remember the first time you got a chance to DJ, either you were the guest DJ and you were opening up, or you were the headliner. Can you take us through those two moments?
Very first time I DJ'd, man, I remember it was this hookah bar on 96th Street,
Okay.
and I remember just going up, talking to the owner like, I'm a upcoming DJ. I need $200 a night. Blah blah blah. He's like, I'm not gonna pay even the best DJ in the city $200 a night. I went in, and they was fucking with me, but I know the set was terrible. It
Yeah.
was awful. It was awful. It was my first set, my very
Yeah.
ever first live set. So I just remember that specific moment because I don't know. I feel like different moments in your life you
Yeah,
gotta
no,
at
I
least
like
remember it.
highlighting that one because there's going to be other DJs that know DJ Spudd and they want to be where you're at today, and you
Yeah.
got to have that ambition. You got to have that willingness to walk
Nah,
up to the venue and be like, "Hey, I'm an up and coming DJ. You never heard of me before, but you should pay me to do what I love to do and what I'm great at doing." Like that's a testimonial for you. Where was the first place you went outside of Indianapolis to DJ? I know you've been on tour a lot. We're going to go into that a little bit more, but what was the first place you went outside our city?
First place was Ohio, Columbus,
Okay.
Ohio. Shout out my boy Dom 2 times. He was kind of the first one to really bring me outside the city and show me a different way outside of the city and how he was operating out there. So from there, we kind of just started doing parties and stuff. And we kind of grew a little following out there in Ohio. And I met some really dope, amazing people. So definitely shout out to him. Columbus, Ohio is definitely.
Yeah.
I remember being at the first place out of town.
Now, with Dom 2 times helping you get to Ohio for your first stop, what was one of the major differences you realized being in Naptown, from Naptown and how we do our music and our mixes versus going to Ohio? Was there any differences or anything like that?
I'd say mix wise, I mean, there's gonna be great DJs and there's gonna be not so great DJs in every city you go. So I'm not
Yeah.
gonna say and sit here and compare, our DJs from their DJs. But as far as the overall community, the overall vibe,
Yeah.
it is. I'd say it is pretty different out there. So we started off, like I said, we were doing parties and stuff. So we'd have, a list, probably 10, 12, 15, 20 artists come and perform.
Yeah.
Out of that, those 20 artists, probably 300 people will show up. And these are upcoming artists that don't really got that big of a following.
Yeah.
So to see that, and then to come back to my home city and to see, people doing parties and stuff, and when artists are performing, it's I'm not gonna say it's dead, but it's like unless it's somebody that is really known in the city,
Yeah.
you don't really get a reaction. Out there, it didn't matter who was performing. Every performance, you're gonna get good energy. You're gonna get good vibes. You're gonna get, you know, some people, some of the artists even got their own fans and stuff. But you could tell for the most part, is people there to party and stuff. But while they're performing, the artists that are performing, they actually, they're dancing, they're vibing, they like it.
They're having a good time. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
always tell artists that's the most important thing is when you're performing, whether you're the headliner or you're the opening act, make sure you stay in the crowd and have a great time because people like me, people like you, Spud, that are in, doing the music thing, we're paying attention to how you act, not when you
yeah,
perform, but what do you do after you perform? Like, did you leave? Okay, so you're not going to stick around to support the team. Did you come talk to me and offer to buy a drink to the DJ to build that relationship? Did you go support anybody else performing? Like those little things are a good way to stand out. Who were some of your biggest influences coming up when you started this being a DJ, and what was one piece of information they gave you that kind of helped set you up for the success you've had?
I'd say as far as looking up, like for the most part, I kind of looked up to most of the DJs that I mentioned just because I always believed in learning new things, and you can always learn from somebody. So just being present and following the guidelines and what they would do differently, talking on the mic was a big thing for me, to get to that point. Now I'm able to do it. I could do it anytime,
Effortless.
anywhere.
Yeah.
But it used to be a hard thing for me. So watching people like DJ Strick talk on the mic and seeing how he uses his voice, DJ Fat West, how he uses his voice, and learning from them, the blending and stuff like that, and just picking up on different things from different DJs, I think is important. And, going out there and studying the game and studying how people interact with different songs. Song selection is a major key in DJing, and that could your blending can do one thing, but that song selection can take your DJ set from here all the way to the next level. So,
is that one of the more frustrating things you deal with if, as a DJ in a club, and some random person walks up to you and says, "Hey, go play this song. I got this great idea." They don't understand song selection. They don't understand BPMs. They don't understand the blend that you got going on. So, is that one of the more frustrating things you deal with as a DJ?
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. It is kind of frustrating because it's like, let's say I'm an artist and I'm recording in the studio, and someone comes in the studio and is telling me how to do something.
Yeah.
Or I'm a chef and I'm making a burger, and I got somebody over here saying, "No, you're not supposed to put the ketchup on that way, or you're not supposed to grill it this way." It's kind of the same thing. Like, how are you telling me how to do my craft and telling me do this and play this song when you don't even DJ?
Yeah.
Now, if it was a DJ, oh yeah, okay, good idea. I'm gonna throw that in. Right on, bro.
Yeah.
If it's somebody that I have an established relationship with, yeah, it's a little bit different because I'm gonna look out for you. If it's a birthday and it's somebody I know, yeah, I'm gonna look out.
Yeah.
But if it's just like people that are in there just to be in there, or random. This is another thing we could probably get into too, is artists asking her to play their music, which is, to me, in the middle of a DJ set, is immediate no. Immediate, unless I know.
So let's go into that. Let's lean into that a little bit. Let's get some free game. I'm an artist. I've got a dope song. I see DJ Spudd in the club. He's killing it. What's the best way to really pitch you the song? What's the time they should show up? Like, let's give them a little bit back information on how to deal with a DJ and have a successful interaction on how to get their song, played.
So,
not that night, but in the future.
I feel like it does depend on the DJ, because every DJ has their own method and their own way. But with me, that has worked with me. Just having an initial conversation, either ahead of time, like you said, before I'm setting up, we can have that conversation then. If I'm in the middle of the set, I'm too busy trying to do too many things. I got bartenders I got to talk to. I got security I got to talk to. I got a host I got to talk to. I got drinks left and right, blah, blah, blah. So don't, that's disrespectful. So either ahead of time, or the thing that's worked best for me is developing that relationship online first, or, meeting up and talking to me first outside the club. I don't want to talk to you about none of that outside, while I'm doing what I have to do. Like I said, unless I know you, then it's like I said, it's disrespectful. But if we come from a place of, okay, I already heard your music ahead of time, now I know what to look for. Now, if you throw me a couple of dollars, or I might even just play it for free just because I like the song, okay, I could throw it in.
Yeah.
Then it's a little bit different than, in the middle of a set, you just asking me to play the music.
Now, what was the first sign you made the right decision? Like you said, you got started because you heard some DJs, you clicked up with them, kind of built a relationship. What was the first sign you were going to be successful at this?
First sign, so like I said, it's kind of always been in me. Like, I never looked at it as I wouldn't be successful in it. It's always, you're always going to always have your ups and downs, in whatever it is you do. But as far as the sign, God, God telling me, this is what you want to do, and just making that choice for myself and my future and what I want to do. I think it really comes down just to making a decision. Most people, they kind of go through things and they don't really decide this is what you want to do. They're halfway in it, halfway out. No, if I'm gonna do something, I want to go all in.
Yeah. So I became familiar with you from Gringo Gang. Shout out to my family. I know
Mhm.
you and Sean Ham, kind of started
Mhm.
at first. How did you meet Sean Ham, and what was it about your guys' relationship that brought you to Gringo Gang in the first place?
Man, Sean Ham's like he's like a brother to me, man. We talk shit all the time. We actually got a single out. It's been out for a couple years now, but if y'all haven't streamed it yet, it's called It's On,
Yeah.
out now by DJ Spudd and Sean Ham. But as far as the relationship, I remember meeting Sean in the club. Actually, I wasn't DJing that consistently at that time because I was still up and coming. But
Yep.
we kind of developed a relationship, and a few years later down the line, I meet say James and I meet everybody else and Taco and JMO and we just kind of build from there. So it's kind of always been love with like I said, Sean was really the first one I met, and people say we look alike. So sometimes when I go out, people ask, am I Sean or whatever,
Hmm.
and I could see the resemblance. So it is kind of funny how that correlates or whatever. But that's my brother, man. I love Sean.
So how do you go from you and Sean, connecting and building that relationship? You meet Taco, you meet JMO, you meet St. James, to now becoming the official Gringo Gang DJ. And then tell us about the first tour you went on. I know you guys done a few. We'll highlight, but what was the first tour you guys did?
Yeah, so I mean, it just kind of all fell together. I think a lot of things are based off the energy and just the energy that was given there, and the vision, the overall vision for Gringo Gang. It just all fell into the right place at the right time, like literally at the right place at the right time. It just all fell together perfectly. Um, and then as far as the first tour, I remember the very first show we did. We were with Doobie. First show was in Atlanta. Obviously the first show is not always going to be peaches and cream, but I think, it went pretty well. First tour was, it was amazing. It was blessed. I've been beyond blessed for
Yeah.
my career so far to travel all over the world, literally with, people that I love and, I've developed amazing, amazing relationships with. These are people I still talk to almost every single day. So definitely, like I said, the Doobie tour was the very first tour. It was insane. I remember, going to Ohio and doing a sold out show for Doobie,
Yeah.
2,000 people strong. It was crazy, and just being able to see these different places and meet all different types of people and doing what I love to do and traveling and making money and having a great
Yeah.
time of my life doing it. So.
Everybody says they want to be the DJ, but let's give them a little sneak peek of what a day looks like for you on tour, because I know you guys are traveling city to city. You're in the Sprinter or whatever. You got to get to the location. So once you guys get to the city, what's your job become, DJ Spudd? From the time you touch down to the show is over, what are some of the hats you're wearing to make sure it's a successful show that night?
So it depends on what we did the night before. I'll be honest. So sometimes I ain't gonna lie, we may have had a rough little night before.
Yeah, had a little too
We on
much. Yeah.
tour. We want to have a good time and stuff. So we may get to the venue, right at sound check or a little bit before sound check. So my job as a DJ when it's that situation, I gotta immediately find out who's the sound guy who I gotta go to. I need a table, and just get me plugged up so we get to do sound check. That's my immediate thought as soon as we go to the venue. Um, Other times, if it's not like that, we got a little bit of a gap between the time we touch down and the time we got to go perform. I'm making sure we got a set list ready. I'm making sure everybody knows their parts and stuff, and
Yeah.
and we're good to go. So that way, when it is time to go and do the sound check and everything like that, we're ready, we're good, we're relaxed and stuff like that. So that's mainly the main thing as far as a DJ is just making sure the music is there, and making sure you tapped in with the sound engineer. A lot of times you may meet the headliners DJ too, so
Yeah.
tapping in and getting their information. And the opening DJs tapping in, getting their information, and making sure you're good with the sound guy. We've had times where you know the sound guy came off pretty rude.
Yeah.
So my job as a DJ, because we're hand in hand. We're like this. Like,
Yep.
I'm the sound guy, I'm the DJ. We're supposed to be making this work. You know, if he's coming off with a different type of energy, you know, I gotta hold my composure and make sure I'm good, regardless.
Yeah,
Regardless,
you can't let them know who you are. Yeah.
if I gotta if I gotta airdrop the other DJ's music just in case, or if I gotta, you know, take my laptop and do something just in case, because I feel,
Yeah.
you know, he's got a different kind of weird energy, then I'm gonna do that. But if not, like I said, majority of the time it's a good sound engineer. But when you get those one-off situations where, you know, he may come off as a prick, then it's like, okay, I gotta make sure I'm good regardless.
Now, I wanted to highlight that for you because I've been to a few of the shows, and you're always the one running around while everybody's outside having fun, celebrating the show they're about to do. I see you running, doing all the leg work, you and St. James, my brother, of course. So I wanted to highlight that for you.
Sure.
When did you notice, or when did you realize Gringo Gang had something? Like, you were there from pretty early on. You guys went on tours. You said you were at the first tour with Doobie. When did you guys understand that the Gringo Gang fandemonium had taken off and you guys were pretty much becoming a national recognized group at that on tour?
I actually knew about Gringo Gang before they even brought me on, because
Okay, dope.
I was seeing the Slap Bacon campaign going on ahead of time, and something, I don't know, there's just something in my path that God had aligned for me, aligned our paths, to make it as successful as it has become. So just seeing that before things even started, I already knew it was something. It was something I haven't seen before at all from Indianapolis. You know, white boys tatted up. You know, we're talking that shit. You know, and it's good music. It's great music. It's amazing music.
Yeah.
So seeing all that and then actually becoming their official DJ is really kind of, it's dope. It's inspiring. It's crazy how it all came together. And, you know, we're going to continue to, you know, push forward and drop new music and, you know, come up with different campaigns and stuff and, you know, go forward.
Yeah, a little inside joke me and St. James have. Are you the one, did you spread COVID throughout the whole United States on tour, man? Because I heard you picked it up in Utah. You went to all the different locations where it went crazy, and then, you know, you guys left, and now it's kind of calmed down. So is DJ Spudd the reason Corona spread across the United States?
You know what's crazy, man? It's crazy. It's crazy you bring that up, because it's like, I remember that specific time, you know, probably like a month or two before we go on tour. This was on the Kasky tour. A month or two before we go on tour, I get really, really sick, like to the point like I'm throwing up. I can't breathe and stuff like that. And this is before COVID and all that. So, you know, few weeks passing, tours coming up, you know, I try to get a little bit healthier and whatever. And by tour comes, I feel good. I feel like I'm ready to go, whatever. By the time we get to like a little bit past Iowa, you know, the hacking comes, the coughing comes, sneezing, all of that. And we're just in a Sprinter van, you know, traveling all the way from Indianapolis all the way to Los Angeles, you know, for what, a month, 2, 3, 4 weeks in a row, like just hacking, man. It was crazy, the craziest experience. But I mean, it's a joke, but it actually happened. I mean, I can't lie. I remember we was in like Wyoming, in a small little, I'm not gonna say shit town, but it's a small little bummy town, and you know we head there for the night. We sleep there. You know, the next morning we're on the road. We get an alert on our phone that says the COVID patient in the town we just left from. So it's like this shit was crazy, man.
Because I was helping post your guys' recaps after the show every day, and I'm watching the map, and then I'm seeing where you guys. I'm like, hold on, James, what are y'all over there doing? He's like, man, you don't want to know yet. So let's highlight the last show, though. COVID broke out everywhere. They're telling you they shut down LA. You know, everything's coming to a halt. But the Gringo Gang show with Kasky and Doobie showing up had to go off. It still had to happen. How did the fans respond to that moment for you guys? And how did it feel to be people from Indianapolis traveled across the United States to LA, your dream area, and now the fans are staying there to, you know, watch you perform, even though they're COVID everywhere and they didn't care. They wanted to party with you guys.
Yeah, that was really, really dope to see, especially, with it being at the time it was, during COVID, the whole country is under shock and,
Yep.
basically shut down. Just to see, people come out and support and, show their appreciation and love for what we're doing. It was amazing to see, and I remember that last show specifically is probably one of the craziest shows, um, especially being in LA and, seeing Doobie and Kasky perform at the same on the same stage together, and it just being a great night. We're out in LA, the weather's beautiful, and
Yeah.
it was a great time just to see all of that come together the way it did.
So Gringo Gang has kind of, stopped a little bit. They're doing their own thing, but we're all still a big family. I know you just did
Yeah,
J-Mo's new single, The Last. What's
yeah,
it
yeah.
like recording with J-Mo and his ability to rap and sing on tracks the way he does? How does that work for you as a producer, and any more projects or anything you guys got coming up?
Yeah, JMO always surprises me with the way he comes and he flows on beats, because he takes it a different way. He's a different kind of artist, and I like that about him, because he has his own swagger, his own style, his own unique persona, and the way he uses his voice on different songs is crazy.
Yeah.
So, for people who don't know, like you said, the last just dropped, produced by me, and rap. JMO did his thing on it. We got a lot more in store, but we just been, the past few months we've really been in the studio locked in, especially me
Okay.
and him, like almost on a consistent basis, like almost, I would say almost every day, just in there, just working, just constant music, beats, all of that. Like, and JMO might be the hardest working artist I know,
Oh,
because
fast, easy.
anytime I go over there, like I wasn't over there the past couple of days, but I know I'll probably go there tomorrow. I'll go there tomorrow. They're probably gonna have 20 new songs within a few days. It's
Yeah.
crazy. The work ethic is insane by Jamo, and everything that he's doing too. So, like, I know his path and what he's doing right now. There's different artists that he's marketing, like,
Yep.
product, and there's truck, and there's seven, and it's dope to see him grow, not just as
Yeah.
an artist but as a person, and developing into the the man that he can and is supposed to be becoming. So it's really
Yeah, I
dope to
love to
see that.
see how much effort he puts into putting other people on. Like Taco came to Gringo Game
Hmm.
because he made it a point. Like you said,
Yeah,
product. He's seven. He's trying to help other people. He's doing his own thing, of course, on his music and his fans, keeping them fed. But he's kind of creating a lane for other people. I seen he just gave some plaques to product. So that's really
yeah,
dope. You work with another dope artist out of Indianapolis. I want to highlight PBT Ace. How
yeah.
did you guys meet, and what's it been like working with him over all these years?
We met. I'd say, what was it, 2019, 2020, something like that. We met really around, because we have the same birthday, so I think we
Okay.
really met around that time, and it was just kind of a like immediately, as soon as we knew we had the same birthday, it was like, yo, what? That's crazy, and we just been locked in ever since. Like, that's, like, when I say brother, like, we talk all the time, like, and to see his growth too is amazing. As an artist, as a man, as a leader, and everything that he's doing. He has the Fountain Foundation right now that he's going out there and he's uplifting the community, and he's doing all this for the community and for the state. To see that, and then on top of that, to be an amazing artist
Yeah.
and just a dope, amazing person. And coming from where he's come from and having to deal with so much, but being able to, hold his own and still, lift his head up and, and be the man that he's supposed to be. I'm proud of him, man. So, going back, like I said, we met probably in like 2019, 2020. Ever since then, it's just been love, going to the studio.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of late nights, a lot of early mornings, a lot of, heartbreaks, a lot of ups, a lot of downs in it. But to see his growth and his passion for it is honestly inspires me a lot.
Yeah.
It does. It keeps me going. It keeps me motivated. It keeps me, focused. Despite, we all have things that we have to go through, and it's life in general. But to see him doing what he's doing, man, is honestly is really inspiring for sure.
Yeah, I heard about this, his family member. I'm not going to mention it, but my thoughts and prayers definitely to him. Did it make it hard for you guys to continue to do music? I know he did the video and honored him, but was it hard to get back in the studio after that loss?
Um, I'd say I'd say kind of, sort of. I know he was, he's definitely, grieving and stuff. And it's something that's not gonna ever really go away for real,
Facts.
the grieving. But to push through it and to still, you know, w- show up every day, like that's what's most important.
Yep.
To
Facts.
still show up every day and not give up and not quit on your people and not, you know, coming so far, and especially where he's from. He's from one of the worst neighborhoods in the city.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
being able to still show up every day and still make amazing music. He's an amazing, amazing artist. Just to see that, even though it may have, you know, tumble, we all stumble and stuff, and it's definitely a hard time that he had to go through, but to still be pushing out music and to still be, inspiring people is dope, man. It's awesome that he's become, like I said, he's becoming the person he's supposed to be.
Now
So
you mentioned coming from the worst parts of Indiana, and I see that's something you do a lot of. But as you put a light on people who wouldn't have an opportunity with your Who's Got Now mixtape and your Who's Got Now label you've created. What is it about the artists that are coming from the struggle that is so interesting to you, and why do you continually to put a light on them when other people don't?
I think it's just kind of my upbringing. Like, I was raised around love.
Yeah,
I was raised around a good family and good people and good friends. So just trying to make a difference in the world and seeing and not looking at it and judging people just based off of where you come from or what you've done in the past. It is not. It shouldn't define you as
yeah,
who you are right now, because you could always change. You could always become a better person. We've seen it a million times. There's a billion stories about people coming from the struggle and making it out and becoming a successful businessman, a successful artist, a successful author, chef, whatever it is that you do. Just to see that, um, and I guess coming from my perspective, it's like I was blessed to be able to see a different light, but at the same time, a lot of my friends coming from these places is like,
yeah,
oh, why would I not do my best to help you get to where I think and I know you can be when
yeah,
I've been blessed my whole life. So I think that's kind of more my calling on my life, is taking these people from, you know, these places that are labeled bad and labeled horrible, even though there's still God there. There's still
facts.
love there.
Yep.
If you would just open your eyes and look for it, you'll see that everyone, I think, is deserving of a second chance. If I could, Jesus, I'll praise Jesus. Like,
Yeah, facts.
I think, Jesus is an idol and an example of who we should be. And Jesus never, when there was people homeless in the streets,
Yeah,
Jesus was there,
to help
helping
them.
them.
Yep,
When there was,
love it.
people that were addicted to drugs, Jesus was helping them. When there
Yeah,
was people that couldn't feed their family, Jesus was helping them, right?
yeah,
So I think just taking that approach and looking at people as you want to see them yourself, and not judging based off what you see or based off what you heard or based off whatever assumptions people placed on them. If you could look at them and look at them as your brother, as your sister, and be like, what can I do to uplift you and help you get to
yeah.
where we all, I think we all kind of had the same dream. If I can help you, and you could probably help me. So
As though I mean, that shows why St. James always spoke so highly of you. Like, as soon as he met you, he started talking to me. Hey, we need to make Spudd the official Stop Beefing Radio. This, like, put Spudd in all these rooms, because you have the same mentality we do. We want to go where other people aren't going, to give an opportunity to change somebody's life. Because you and I know you putting them on that mixtape, that may be what keeps them from going to the other part of the house that has the bad stuff going on. They're going to go to the studio now, and now they're going to do the studio every day instead of being out on the block doing that type stuff. So you're giving people hope, and you're giving them an opportunity. You've also worked with some other dope artists in the city as a producer. So you're a dope DJ and you're a dope producer. What lane do you like the best, and what are you working on in the future? Like I said, you did Paris Adam, you did Bando Ray. I see you here with Noah's Got Hit. So that's two of the deadliest in the city right now. So what kind of things are you cooking up as a producer?
Cut out at the last part. What did you say?
Oh, so what are some of the things you're doing as a producer? Mentioning the names you've already worked with. What are some of the things you got coming?
So as far as the producing aspect, really like the past couple weeks have took a complete nosedive in. And shout out my boy.
Yes, sir.
Of course,
My boy been going crazy.
Noah is really the one that put me in the game, and I've been rocking with Noah for as long as I know y'all, literally. So like him, literally, this happened a few weeks ago. Just putting me in the game, and he's kind of coaching me on this stuff. I don't know a whole lot about producing, but I'm learning. Yeah. So taking this route and getting into the beats more. I mean, I got a vision for it. I got the work ethic and the mindset, I feel like, for it, and the connections for it to make it happen. And then as far as the DJing, I always be DJ Spudd. That's my first love. First love has always been music, but that DJing took that music to a whole different level that I could never even imagine ever. Yeah. So I think at this phase in my career, I'm taking that producer route for sure, just because I'm like obsessed. I'm obsessed. You know how
and you got a great mentor, like you said, Noah guy. I mean, a project with him producing all the songs and you just DJing it on some DJ Khaled executive producer shit. That'd be a major hit in our city. For sure. I want to highlight, because a lot of people, they sit here and they talk about chasing their dream. They want to talk about all these things I'm going to do. Well, you actually left Indianapolis. You went to Atlanta. You went to Atlanta with no resources, just standing on your own name and building your brand out there. And you were able to build an impressive brand very quickly. What was it that made you go to Atlanta in the first place? And kind of give us a story or a history of what that experience was like for you.
So Atlanta, it was a different kind of experience. I ain't gonna lie, because number one, I'm not from there. So going out there and having a couple connections, but not a whole lot. I really had to go out there and get it. There's a ton of dope people that I met out there, a ton of dope DJs, a ton of dope artists. Like I said, Dom 2 times, he was out there. He was one of the main people that was really helping me and showing me the way out there. And shout out to Dom, because without him, like, I don't know where I would have been in Atlanta. So just like I said, chasing your dream, man, is not for the weak, for sure. So it definitely tested me to the fullest. And I ain't gonna lie, man, it did break me down at one time. This is really the first time I'm talking about this on camera. It did break me down. It broke me down. Atlanta, I remember like one of the first days in Atlanta, there was this desk lady, and she's like, yeah, Atlanta's gonna break you before it's gonna make you. That motherfucker broke me. I ain't gonna lie, because it's like going out there and walking out on faith and walking out on conviction in what you're doing, and it not working out exactly how you wanted, but still taking that leap of faith. I think I definitely learned a lot from it. It definitely showed me a lot of things that I probably wouldn't have learned had I stayed. Yeah. So does
it change your mentality looking at our Indianapolis? Because our Indianapolis scene, like I said, we have amazing producers, we have amazing artists, we have amazing everything. Mm-hmm. We just don't have the game. Did you see the game a little differently in Atlanta, and how are you bringing some of that back to the artists you're working with?
So as far as a game, like Atlanta,
just mainly work ethic and all the stuff they do.
The work ethic and the up tempo about Atlanta is definitely very, very fast paced. When I say that, it's like you think it's Nah.
Yeah.
It's fast paced out there for sure. Like there's so many people coming in and out that city, and you try to make all these connections at once. Sometimes it even gets overwhelming because there's
Yeah.
so many people. Like, and you just meet different people one after the other after the other after the other. But as far as the game is a game. You know, we know what we got to do. We at the end of the day, you know what you got to do as a person. It's one thing to know the music. It's one thing to know the business. It's one thing to create something, but you gotta work on yourself too. I think that's probably the key component to all of this is being able to work on yourself as a person. And like I said, Ace is a perfect example. I'm beyond proud of him, of the person he's becoming and has became so far, because he's doing it the right way. You
Yeah.
know, being able to inspire people and tap in with yourself, you know, and look deep within yourself about who you are and what it is you want and what it is you can do. Because when I believe we can do anything, and you can do anything you set your mind to, for sure. But it
Especially
all
when we got in our corner, he opens up all those avenues that you might not have. Now you're in Atlanta. I know you're humble, so you're not going to big it up, but I know you linked up with some pretty major players in that time you were there. What was it like working with them, and who were some of the legends or some of the celebrities you got to be in the room with that people in Indianapolis don't understand the level of access you have now in Atlanta?
Yeah, as far as the people that I met, so one of the main folks that really brought me in is ATL Top 20. Shout out to him.
Salute.
You know, he was kind of the ones that was mentoring me out there and showing me around and introducing me to different people and kind of showing me different things in the game. So big shout out to him. He did a lot of dope events out there. So learning that aspect and learning the game from his angle, because he's older than me, so he has more years and experience in it. So just learning that aspect of it was really dope. As far as the people I met a ton of people. I met Jeezy's. I met his what you call it, the clothing designer or whatever. I met Jeezy's clothing designer. I
Okay.
met a bunch of different DJs, DJ Cutthroat.
I'm
I
fine.
met DJ Monte was out there. Flex Gang Slim was out there. Um, I met there was 2 Chainz, Boosie,
Yeah.
Ti. My first night there, Metro Boomin, like a bunch of people. Zaytoven, like when I say Atlanta, like, and it's kind of crazy to go out there and just to be around celebrities. You will look to your right and 2 Chainz will be standing right
Right
there,
there, chilling.
chilling. But that's how it is. That's how it is. That's where they're from. So it's normal for them to do that, and just to be out in the city. Why would they not be out in the city? It's where they're from.
Yeah. Now, what's one of your goals you have for the next 5 years? You're back in Indianapolis. You're producing with Noah Guy Hits as your mentor. You've got your label. You've got the power of Stop Beef from Radio. Anything we can do to help you, always behind you.
Yeah,
What is
sure.
your goals for the next 5 years?
I think my go-to is to establish my own tour, my
Okay.
own national tour, and I know I could do it, and having the right pieces in place, and finding the right artists and building the squad, and creating from here, I think would be really dope. But I mean, honestly, to be completely honest with you, to really just do this shit full time,
Yeah.
and living, the lifestyle I've always dreamed of, which is, like I said, touring, which is, making money from what I love to do, and develop and continuing to create and develop relationships. I'm all about creating and, establishing things. Like I said, I got a podcast I'm working on, so establishing that. I think getting more into those podcasts and stuff and getting more into radio and
Yeah.
stuff like that, because I do have a voice and I do have a platform that I think is important, and it can be very, very impactful if I do it the right way. So just staying locked in, I think the overall vision, like I said, developing and strategizing and becoming, best version of myself, which
Like I
may not
definitely, I honestly
Yeah.
see for you the new DJ drama. Like I always compare people like to where I see them going. I could see you as DJ Khaled with your production, your putting songs together on some DJ Khaled shit. But I really see you as DJ drama because you get that stamp, the legendary drop you have, DJ Spudd. You're my favorite. That
For
stamp
sure,
on
for sure.
somebody's song makes somebody go from a street, celebrity to DJ Spudd fucks with you. Oh, now you're getting radio play. Oh, now you're out of town. Now Gringo Gang's looking at you and want to feature with you. Like your name holds weight right now, and the way you're helping people, man, it's so dope. What kind of advice you have for someone who wants to be DJ Spudd and they want to kind of be on leading tours, doing all this dope stuff you're doing? What advice would you give them?
I'd say don't be like me. Be yourself. First off, number one, you have to find yourself. That's probably the best advice I could give you is finding yourself and finding your niche and what it is that makes you different. I think we're all blessed with abilities that we can't even fathom. God has blessed all of us with talents, abilities, ideas, things that could take us from wherever we are to someplace we can't even imagine in 5 years. So, number one, be yourself. Number two, create. Number three, always chase your dreams. Put something at the forefront of your mind and the forefront of your heart and go all in for it and watch those dreams come true.
Nah, because we definitely need you, man. Because me and St. James, we're getting older, man. So we're not gonna be here too much longer to do this. So having you come up, helping us. Shout out to Sincere. She set this up. Like we're family. I could have called you and did this, but she loves what you do too. Like you have a lot of Court Digger from my fam there. We always talk about you as well. You got a lot of legends that pay attention to you, Spudd. So I salute you on that. How important is a team to you, and who are some of the team members that make your day-to-day operations possible?
Yeah, so like I said when we first started this conversation, like you really need people around you to to push you, to support you, to uplift you. As far as people around you, I mean St. James, Ace, Ace has been a major factor in my life. I think we've grown not just as our careers, but literally might be one of my best friends. I'm sitting here with Noah. Noah, got me into the producing stuff. Different DJs in the city. Shout out to DJ Milo. I see a bright future with DJ Milo. And the people I started with, Ace, JJ, Jado, and the whole PPT squad. Everybody from Gringo Gang. Shout out to them. All the different DJs in the city. I think we could all be one big team, honestly, and push this culture forward.
Now, what's a highlight from your career that I haven't highlighted? I tried to go through as much as I can remember or I know about you, but what's one of your personal highlights that you've had?
One of my personal highlights, the whole thing.
Okay.
The whole thing. I wouldn't say there's any specific time frame or specific area or specific, moment in my career as a DJ so far that specifically sticks out. I love the entire process. Even like I said, Atlanta, like I said, it did break me. Even going through that is important because it's all part of my story. At the end of the day, it's all part of my destiny and where God wants to take me in the future. So I think there's no specific moment, just the whole entire journey is what's important.
Now, what do you like to do for downtime? If you're not producing, if you're not DJing at a dope party, what are you doing to enjoy yourself?
Honestly, recently it's just I've been so laser focused. There's no really time to, have downtime. It's more about
No time off.
grind. But if I were to have downtime, I think, it's just being able to relax, probably, chill somewhere, probably go somewhere with some friends, summertime's coming up. So I love boat parties. I think that'd probably be really awesome to do, is just to have a nice little time, a nice little boat party, even go out of town. I think that'd be dope as like a downtime. But for me right now, it's all about the grind, honestly, 100%. Downtime will come. Kobe Bryant has a famous quote that he said, don't rest in the middle, rest at the end. So that's what I'm doing. I ain't gonna rest.
Yeah. Now, do you have any upcoming releases, either songs you produced or projects you have for your mixtapes and stuff that we can circle on the calendar for you?
Yeah. So actually, like we were talking about earlier, the last with JMO just dropped. Y'all go check that out. I produced it. You know, we recorded with Product. It's amazing. Y'all go check that out. This Friday, I got a single coming out with 100 G's.
Okay.
It's called
Yeah.
UFO. It's really, honestly, production is absolutely insane. We went, of course, my guy Mitch at 416 Wabash. He's been also a major player in this whole thing. So shout out to him. You know, I'm working with Ace. We're, you know, trying to push his project and get his, you know, his things lined up. Working on my next mixtape, Who's Got Now 8.
Okay.
That's official. I'm gonna, you know, officially coming soon. Officially, Who's Got Now 8. And last but not least, I got a single with Product coming out called Lightning. That's really dope. If y'all don't know who Product is, he's an amazing talented artist.
Thanks.
PRADUCC. Y'all go check that out. Lightning is coming next month. Don't know exact date, but I know it's coming next month.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
If you could collaborate with anyone living or dead, who would you collaborate with and what would you create?
Drake. We'd create
Drake. There we go. Okay.
We'd create a whole album.
All right. So you want to go with Drake. All right. After all the stuff he's been through, you still riding with Drake.
I'm riding with Drake, man.
Okay.
I'm riding with Drake. We got the same birthday too, so I'm riding with Drake for sure. And then shit. Ace,
Yeah, he
man,
might need
some
of that. He might need those beat packs. So for artists, because I'm gonna hit you up too. I got an artist I'm helping right now. What's the best way to get a beat pack from you, or what's the best way to contact you about producing for him?
Shit, contact this man.
Yeah, man. I ain't gonna lie, my boy Spudd, he picked this shit up so quick.
Yeah.
And it's cool to see this man's going crazy because he really already harder than a lot of producers I know. Not gonna say no names. But
Appreciate that.
my man going crazy for sure.
No, for real. I might make him my manager, honestly. So y'all might have to holler at Noah, man.
There you go.
For sure.
Last thing is anything you want to say to your fans and supporters who's been rocking with you all these years?
Man, I appreciate everybody that's rocking with me through all the ups, through all the downs, through everything. We still here. We still creating. It's still DJ Spudd. I'm fucking favorite white boy. Let's get it, man. I love y'all, man. I love y'all. This shit don't stop. We got a bright future. Look, a lot of stuff on the way. We're going to continue creating, continue making music and doing what we love to do for a living. Let's chase our dreams, man. Let's make these dreams happen.
Did that give you any problems in Atlanta? Because you know I've been out in Atlanta too, and I'm the only white person in the area. Did you ever have any kind of pushback because of that?
Nah, not really, man. Like I'm honestly, unless you know me like how you know me, or like how Noah knows me, or how
it ain't what you think it is.
Like, and we really locked in. You're gonna get the quiet kind of, soft spoken Spudd that. You know, he just does his thing and that's it. You know, and he's cool, he's laid back, whatever. So I never really got any pushback at all. Honestly, Atlanta was all love. Honestly, everybody I met down there, I'm still locked in with. I'm still cool with. Shout out to J. Rain. He just dropped some shit not too long ago too. So shout out to him. He showed a lot of love out there. Like I mentioned, all the DJs and ACL Top 20. Everybody showed me love, so I never had no problems.
Definitely, man. Well, like I said, it's been an honor having this conversation. I'm so proud of what you've done so far. I heard great things in Atlanta from some of these legends that you interacted with. They loved you as a DJ and they love you as a person. So you got a great future ahead of you with Noah Got Hits producing, teaching you those ropes, man. You're going to be a super producer. And then, like I said, you have stopped beefing radio. So there's as you know, any resources I got are yours. So anything you need, any song placements, any of that, man, we got you, man. I want to see Spudd win, and I appreciate your time tonight, fam.
Sure. It's all love. Love you, Matt.
Yes, sir. Salute.
Yes, sir.